Did you get a get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton? There you go. Yeah, it's very good. It's a YouTube channel on the back. You can see some of the encounters I have out here.
Sure.
Yes.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Well, thank you. Where are you guys from?
We're from here.
Oh.
We're walking around the French Quarter, taking a Sunday. But this is great.
Well, thank you very much. I try to tend to have fun
with it. Look at that. Good guys without guns. Bad guys with guns.
And how long have you been in New Orleans? You grew up here?
I grew up here, born and raised.
Do you remember the New Orleans Levy newspaper?
Sure. I remember the Levy.
Yeah,
and they used to publish some stuff I read.
Really? Well, then me and you are akin, because I was their political satirical cartoonist.
Okay.
And one of their contributing writers. I also delivered the damn paper, and if we had an office, I would have swept that out, but we didn't have one. So that's great.
Yeah, we went to Saudi Arabia for a couple of years.
Really? And how was that experience?
It was interesting. It really was.
What were you doing there?
I was teaching the first year, and he came with me. First year, I taught at Heil in the north, and then I taught in Riyadh. And Liam was 2 years in Saudi schools.
That was an experience?
It was an interesting experience.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
It's going to make you a better person all the way around. Man, what did you take out of it?
Oh, Saudi Arabia is an interesting place. It needs to catch up a little bit with the rest of the world, but
yeah, shaking off that 15th century barbaric, patriarchal thing might be a good idea. I think. I don't know, allowing women to drive.
I guess what I took was, people need to do things at their own pace, and we can't force them. But as soon as they get out of there, they want to be in the West. They want to live like us, But there's one thing they value a lot. This is what I took away. They value the traditional life.
Yes.
They value families. That's a big thing. And that's why they love Trump. Look, Trump is rich.
They love Trump.
Trump has multiple wives, and Trump has children. Those are the things that Saudis, that's all they want. More kids, more money, lots of wives. Very attractive, The Saudi men totally relate to Trump. They're not maybe happy about his Israel policy, but even that they keep quiet about fairly well. I mean, I met many Jews. They'll never admit they're Jewish, but there are lots of Jews working down there. Mm-hmm. And, I understand Trump, they relate to Trump because of that.
Interesting.
Money, wives,
really
kids.
Just the basis, the basics, isn't it?
That's it.
That's the base human.
Yeah. They don't really even care about elections,
And what subject did you teach?
First year I taught English. Second year I taught law, which was a little more challenging.
Really?
Yeah. To the first graduating class of Saudi women attorneys.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't go jumping about them, but
it's a crack in the door,
yes.
I guess. Huh?
You have to start somewhere.
Interesting.
And they definitely.
So there is little incremental progress being made?
Yeah. And it's.
I mean, having you there, I think, is a big.
Look, here's the thing, though. Like, their grip. I should say, from what I've read, the mullahs are less influential than they were when we were there. As Christians, I mean, we were in Heil. We were like the only Americans people had met, but we were certainly the only Christians people had met. Open Christians. I mean, in proselytizing, you can practice. Saudi law says you can practice any faith you want in the privacy of your home. So as long as you do it inside and you don't distribute Bibles and proselytize, you're okay. They will deport you for that. And
will they use selective enforcement, though? I mean, if they wanted to, could they?
In Bahrain, there are two churches. Bahrain is very open, and it's a little island quite close to Saudi. But in general, Saudi, they have a really conservative element in the society, and they have to deal with that. So they have to accommodate them, and they will not. Because the Mecca and Medina are there, the holy cities, they don't want to lose that control over the holy cities. so they don't allow Christians.
I'm always fascinated. The more I study, look at and study that area, because it is so foreign from our cultures, but it's so important.
Yeah.
So you got to keep, and try to get a grasp. That's why I love getting your input. Thank you. And trying to figure out what's about, and even studying some of the family histories of Saudi Arabia. They weren't very nice people. I mean, basically, they built their entire empire on slave trade, sex slave trade.
Well, I think that's true for most of the Middle East.
Yeah, indeed.
And certainly Jeddah. You had slavery. I think slavery was not outlawed until 64, 68. And even then, the slaves really didn't want to leave because they had a pretty good deal as house servants. No,
Okay.
No. In the computer soup, remember?
Yeah.
We met several guys who were obviously slave descendants, and one guy I think was probably born a slave.
How politically do the people feel about the fact that in essentially their nations were made up by the British? Because there is, if you want to go by the tribes,
they all vacation in London. They all love London. And the other people who are in the desert, the Bedouin, they don't know. Yeah. They don't have any collective memory of that. And the Bedouins are the ones who are really oppressed by the Arabs. I mean, the Bedouins they speak a different language. Their culture's really different. But, that's a super conservative group.
Where have you been to other places and taught? I mean, around the world?
Well, I've lectured mostly. We just went for 2 years. We went to Texas after Katrina.
And your credentials, obviously, you're a professor or a...
Yeah, I was associate professor.
Yeah.
So...
And what are you doing now? What are you doing?
I'm a lawyer.
Oh, a lawyer.
Yeah,
great.
It's working.
In what field? What field do you practice?
Litigation. But, I follow. I'm on Twitter. Let me take your picture. I'll put you on Twitter.
Might need a good lawyer.
With my kid. Yeah. Call me someone.
Wonderful. Yeah.
It's always nice to make friends.
I just ordered cards again.
Yeah, staying over near Donald. On that side of him. There you go. All right, then let me get you just with Donald. The three of you.
Okay.
The two of you just with Donald, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Donald.
There you go.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel if you like. Subscribe.
I will.
Are you familiar with InfoWars?
No, we've seen InfoWars.
Yeah. I have a video up on his site right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I've been on a show. I just won his Patriot Challenge contest. So yeah.
He's really being persecuted now.
Oh, well, everybody that has a message is being persecuted on the right. I mean, with the fact that it's so blatant and people can recognize it, that it's sort of like they did with Tommy Robinson. You familiar with the episode in Tommy Robinson?
Everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, here's a guy, a citizen journalist, essentially does what I do, that's standing out in front of a courthouse in London talking about a Muslim child sex slavery pedophile ring inside.
Yeah.
And the police just come along off the street.
Yeah, London's
and
really...
he's in jail for 13 months within an hour. No lawyer. No, whoop, there you go, gone.
London's just gone berserk.
Yeah.
We have to run. That's right. I would love to stay and talk to you.
Oh, no, thanks for your input. Stop by again and talk, all right? I'd like to get in there.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.